All right, guys, in the Zoom YouTube video is starting, so let's take our seats and let's lock in here for this video. All right, so overthinking and doubt. My name is Jonathan, aka Origin. I'm the one talking right now. For people on YouTube, my name is Jonathan. Funded, been funded multiple times with multiple firms. Currently funded with Apex. Here's my results for February coming into March. Certificates, blah blah blah. All that stuff. So, getting to the important stuff in this video, today we're going to be talking about overthinking and doubt and how they're actually holding you back from profitability, but not in the way that you would think. Okay, so a lot of you guys think that overthinking and doubt are things or sort of like barriers that are blocking you from profitability, right? So a lot of you may be in that unprofitable stage or even in that break even stage and you're still going at it. I just want to say kudos to you. A lot of people, don't get as far as where you are right now in your journey. Even if it's your first day, a lot of people don't even start. So kudos to you. And so because you're here, I'm going to give you something that you probably will not find anywhere else, which is how to actually use overthinking and doubt to your advantage. All right. And the first thing we want to go over is this: overthinking and doubt aren't problems unless you believe they are. Okay. Now, this isn't some delulu woo woo shit. Okay. I mean this seriously. Okay. Overthinking and doubt aren't problems unless you believe they are. What is a problem? Like, think about this. What actually is a problem? Right? Because what you need to understand is this: any information that you receive from your experience, from your life, is simply information. And it is you, the human being, that attributes meaning and purpose and value to this information. For instance, you say, oh, that's sad, or oh, that's happy, or that's good, or that makes me happy, or this or that. Nothing makes you anything. All right? You attribute meaning to information. So once again, what is a problem? What do we consider problems? Well, a problem is something that is different or falls outside of your desired outcome or preferences. All right? For instance, you want to get to work on time, you get in your car, you get on the road, and boom, there's traffic. And you look at this traffic and you say, oh damn, I ain't getting to work on time. This is a problem. And you're right, it is a problem because it's something that blocks you from your desired outcome or preference, which is to get to work on time. So why is overthinking and doubt problems? Well, a lot of the time, the reason that we consider overthinking and the reason that we consider doubt problems is not because we're overthinking and not because it's doubt specifically, but because we see them as barriers between us and our desired outcome, which in this instance is profitably trading or consistent profitability. So what we're going to do in this video, and what I'm going to do for you, is I'm going to actually show you how overthinking and doubt aren't actually problems. Okay? So, stop trusting in who you've been more than who you believe you could be. The reason that you're still on this journey is because you believe that trading can work for you, right? But what some of you don't understand is that you're actually trusting in who you've been in regards to your trading. So if you're unprofitable, you're trusting in the fact that you're unprofitable more than you are consistently profitable, right? And I mean this quite literally. You need to believe that you are consistently profitable. And you have to believe this rather than believing that you're not. Or you need to believe that you are consistently profitable rather than believing that you are break even, right? It's not just a matter of thoughts though. What you need to understand is that when you believe something, and I mean truly believe something, not just think that you believe it and say, yeah, I'm consistently profitable, but believe it to such an extent that it becomes an unconscious belief. What happens as a result of that is that your actions start to fall in line with that bias or with that belief in yourself. And that's what it is. It's a cognitive bias. All right? Your actions will never, ever actually fall outside of your self-concept. This is impossible. The body works from a state of coherence and consistency. Coherence and consistency. God damn. Coherence and consistency. All right? So, what does this mean? If you don't believe that you're consistently profitable, you will not do consistently profitable shit. You will not follow your plan because you believe that you're somebody that will not follow their plan. Unconsciously. A lot of this shit is actually below the surface. Some of you think that you believe that that you can be profitable, but you don't believe that you are profitable, and as a result, you don't do things that a profitable trader would do. You need to be the trader first before you start doing what the trader does. Okay? And so this may seem unrelated to this, but we're going to get back to that, overthinking and doubt. We're going to bring this full circle. But you need to stop trusting in that voice, that overthinking voice, that doubtful voice that says, you can't succeed. Why would you pass that eval? You failed 50 evals before this. Why would you make any money this month? You haven't made money any month. You've never even got a payout before. You've never even got a withdrawal before. You've never even done any of this shit before. Why would you do it now? And some of you try and battle this voice, and you try and square up with this voice, and you throw a jab and say, well, fuck you. I think I can do it. And you give an actual identity to this voice, not understanding that, yes, overthinking and doubt, and specifically those thoughts, because overthinking and doubt aren't really the problem, but it's those thoughts that are the problem. You need to start separating those thoughts from who you are. Because some of you take ownership of the overthinking, of the doubt, and say, why am I thinking that? And that's the problem. You think that you're thinking it. And as a result, since you're thinking it, it's going to happen. But thinking it is not the problem. It's the fact that you believe in the thoughts. That's the problem. Because let me tell you something. Imagine if you were overthinking on your success and doubting your failure. Imagine if you were overthinking on your success and doubting your failure. Think about that. Really ponder that. Imagine if you were overthinking on your success and doubting your failure. Did I say something crazy? Did I say something impossible? Do you understand what I mean now when I say overthinking and doubt are not actual problems? The problem is they're happening with thoughts and with ideas that fall outside of your desired outcome, which makes them problems. So we're going to actually figure out and learn how to flip this so that overthinking and doubt can work for you. You're not going to get this anywhere else. This is an important point here. It all ties together, I promise. Haters don't actually exist. Your inner thoughts do. Now, some of you are like, man, you don't even know who I deal with. You telling me haters don't exist. Now, who is that over there that just hated on me yesterday? And what about this person right here? And what about my parents that are saying trader will never work? And what about this and what about that? Let me tell you something. What people say don't affect, your life. Are they God? That's what I want to ask. Are they God? Do their words cast spells on you and now you are stuck in fulfilling whatever prophecy they've spoken over your life? Are these people God? Let me tell you something. They're not. Because if everything that people said about you leads to something, that same thing happening from you, from your actions, then pretty much all of us would be cooked. Because I've met some real, messed up people that said real messed up stuff about me. Thank God they're not God because, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all. Okay? Why do I say all that though? The only reason that their words actually bother you is because to some extent, most likely unconscious, you agree with what they're saying. And so, because you agree with what they're saying, you feel an agitation within you. But instead of addressing the inner thought that is actually causing the agitation, you paint it onto these people around you and say, they're the ones hating on me. They don't want me to succeed. This and that. They suck. And then what happens is you start trading from this perspective where I got to trade to prove myself right and to prove them wrong. I've got to trade to show them that I was right the whole time. I've got to trade because if I make all this money, people will think I'm cool and actually talk to me now. I got to trade because, I succeeded in all these other things in my life. Trading got to succeed. And what you don't understand is that by thinking like that, you actually change the actions that you're supposed to do. And those actions result, or I guess align with those thoughts that actually result in you trading horribly, like shit. You trade outside of your plan, you FOMO, you over leverage, you do this, you blow accounts like that, all this stuff. Why? Because the actions you're taking fall outside of the actions that need to be taken in order to succeed. But the reason that's happening is because you have these pre-existing cognitive biases, like I have to trade to prove myself right. And as a result, you're trying to win. You're trying to make money. You're trying to win in the markets when that is almost opposite to what you're actually supposed to do. You're just supposed to follow your plan, trade the plan, trade your edge. And that's how you win long term. But a lot of you are trading to try and win money because you're trading to prove yourself. Every single day, you're trading to prove yourself. That's why losses hurt so much. And that's why wins get you high. It's because you're trying to prove yourself in every single trade that you take. But guess what? That is a surefire formula for tilt, for over leveraging, for FOMO, and for all the other trading errors that are so common across unprofitable traders, which is the majority of traders, because every single trade means something. When really the only thing that a trade means is that the pattern either played out or it didn't. That your edge presented itself and the pattern either played out or it didn't. And some of you know this. And then you question yourself and you ask, why am I doing all these things? It's because you're trying to prove yourself in every single trade instead of trading like a consistently profitable trader. Let's get to it. Next. Consistently profitable isn't somewhere to arrive, it's someone to become. Some of you are break even. And some of you are even unprofitable. And you're calling yourself these things and you're pushing the goalpost out, saying, I'm not consistently profitable yet. But remember, you have to understand this. Your cognitive biases are what guide your actions and what guide the conclusions and meanings that you ascribe to certain experiences in your life. If you believe you're a break-even trader, you will do break-even trader shit. If you believe you are an unprofitable trader, you will do unprofitable trading shit. It's just that simple. But when you start believing that you're a consistently profitable trader, you will start doing consistently profitable stuff. Like following your plan. Like risking the right amount every single time. Like no longer going on tilt. No FOMO. No over leveraging. None of that, because you actually believe you're consistently profitable. So this is what I need you to do. You need to start asking yourself, what does it mean to be consistently profitable? Some of you are saying this term and don't even understand what it means. You think that it's certain metrics, but let me ask you this. What's consistent and what's profitable? Profitable is easier to explain. It's anything above break even. Consistent is the hard thing. That's the vague thing. That's the thing that could be anything. Consistent can be for a month because it's a couple of days. Consistent could be for half a month. It could be, Q1 to Q3. It could be a year. It could be several years. And so you don't even have a clear definition of what this means for you. You need to get clear now. And let me tell you something. The moment you say consistently profitable is me trading right for some actual time, in my opinion, you already cooked yourself. You need to understand that consistently profitable isn't actually somewhere to be. It's someone to become. It's a mindset, consistently profitable, because that's where it comes from. Success is not an accident. Success is not an accident. You have to be successful in your mind first. But some of you think success is this grind and hustle mindset where it's like, I want this more than anything. And I die for this. I love to hustle. I love to grind. I'm a grinder. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to prove all my haters wrong. No. That is not the consistently profitable mindset, because you telling me if you already had the success, if you already proved the haters wrong, if you already showed that you like the grind and you like the hustle, would you still be thinking those things? Or would you just be doing what you've been doing, which is trading from a consistently profitable mindset? That's what you would be doing. So that's how you need to trade. You need to trade from the end. You need to trade from the end. Look at old dude right here, bro. He's trading and he's thinking of the beach. Why? Because he understands that that's the mindset that he needs to trade from. A carefree state of mind, as Mark Douglas talked about it. Rest in peace. A carefree state of mind. For me, what helps me get there is abundance. Abundance means having more than enough. When I trade from a state where I say I have more than enough money, I have more than enough respect and attention, I have more than enough love in my life, I have more than enough, it then guides my actions every single day. When I remain in this state, I meditate on this state. The way that you start to trade from the end is this. Ask yourself, what is success in trading for you? What is success in trading for you? What does that look like? Like, really ask yourself. Ask yourself, why are you trading? Are you trading for freedom? Because if you're trading for freedom, why are you on the charts 24/7? Because right now you're trading for scarcity if you do that. And that's completely different than trading from the end or trading from the consistently profitable state of mind, which is someone that actually has freedom. Really look at your actions and ask yourself, are you trading from an abundant state of mind? Are you trading from a peace state of mind? If you're trading for peace, you want peace in your life. You don't want to keep working here. You don't want to keep working there. You want peace. Are you trading from a peaceful state of mind? Or some of you want love. Some of you say that, oh, I want to trade because I want to prove to people that I am who I say I am, and so they'll give me respect. And people will listen to me and actually care about what I say. There's nothing wrong with that. But ask yourself, how would you feel if all that happened? And then trade from that feeling. Meditate on that feeling. Think about that feeling every single day. No matter what you're doing, think about that feeling. Because let me tell you something. If you keep looking for the external reality, to gratify or to confirm who you want to be, you'll get let down every single time. More money will only accentuate and reconfirm the thought of scarcity. You'll just want more. You'll need more. You need more. You need more. And it'll never be enough. And your trading will be affected because you need to trade from a state of mind which is carefree, because then you won't be able, if you're not carefree, you won't be able to see a win for what it is or a loss for what it is, which is just information. At the end of the day, it's all the same thing. All a win means is that the pattern played out. Assuming that you trading your edge and trading your trading plan, all a win means is that the pattern played out. All a loss means is that the pattern didn't play out. And since you're trading profit or trading uncertainty, there's no problem with that either way. There's no problem with that. But you guys are putting so much weight on your shoulders that you're putting this weight now on every trade, and now every trade means something deeply. If I win, I'm closer to my goal. If I lose, I'm farther away from my goal. Hell no. The goal has already been achieved, and that's the state of mind you have to trade from. And when you trade from that state of mind, what happens is this. Overthinking and doubt start to work for you. You start to find reasons why your cognitive bias, which is that you're successful, which is that you're consistently profitable, is true. And your actions will be ordered to align with that being, with that identity of being consistently profitable. But you have to let it sink in, and you have to trust it, even though there will be a period of time where you're believing in this thing and saying this is who I am and trusting in that and doing your meditations and all that, and your trading results aren't necessarily reflecting that. And then the overthinking and doubt may say, well, you're saying all this stuff, but why did I lose today? Why did I lose for this week? Why did I just blow that eval? Why does this? Why is that? And then you listen to the overthinking and doubt. But guess what? When you make it past that time lag, because that's all it is, it's a time lag, because you make your reality, you make your life, every circumstance that you're in comes from your actions, including your trading results long term. If you can get past that time lag, where your thoughts are now coming to manifest from your actions, and as a result, your actions are leading to certain results like passing evals and getting payouts and positive P&Ls, and actually following your plan and doing all this stuff. If you can get past that time lag, when all those things start happening, you will see that the reason that you became successful is because you chose to become successful, not because you let results tell you that you're successful. Don't you understand that if you're unprofitable and you're trusting in your results, you will just stay in this perpetual loop of unprofitability because you're saying that your results are a reflection of who you are? You have to let this mechanism of how your brain works work for you and stop letting it work against you. Let overthinking and doubt work for you. Because remember, when you have a pre-existing bias, this is what happens. When you have a pre-existing bias about how the world is or how things are, your brain or your reticular activation system specifically will filter out data from your environment. And so the only data that will actually be let in is things that actually activate or actually confirm or align with this pre-existing cognitive bias that you have, to the detriment of all other data that may go against that bias. And that's just how your brain works. So if you believe that you're unprofitable or you believe that you're break even, you will only see information that confirms that bias. And that's all it is. It's a bias. It's not truth. It's a bias. So change your bias from saying that I'm this or I'm that to I'm successful, that I'm a consistently profitable trader, and watch how your brain starts to work for you. But guess what? There's going to be a time lag, and there's going to be a time where your brain's like, what the hell is going on? I thought we were this, now you're saying we're that, and it's not going to like that, and so you're going to have overthinking and doubt. But in my opinion, that overthinking and doubt that goes against that pre-existing bias that you're trying to build in your mind is actually proof that you are growing. It's proof that you are becoming the person that you want to become. So stop looking at overthinking and doubt as these barriers that are stopping you from success, and understand that these are just mechanisms that the brain uses to remain in homeostasis, to get you back into a state of equilibrium. But guess what? You make your equilibrium. You can choose what your homeostasis is because it's your brain. It's your brain. But we're too comfortable sometimes. You're too comfortable sometimes with saying, oh, well, I'm just overthinking again. I'm just having doubt again. I hate when I overthink. I hate when I have doubt. Oh, well, I wish my mind's like my worst enemy. Your mind's your worst enemy. It's your mind. Imagine if you were walking around and your hand or your foot or some other limb was just doing the Harlem Shake, just shaking around, trembling, going crazy randomly. And then someone pointed out and said, hey, my guy, your hand is like doing a thing right now. Like, you straight? And you just like, yeah. I hate when it does that. My hand sometimes it just does the Harlem Shake. It just shakes. I hate when it does that. I'm just going to ignore it. You're going straight to the hospital. You know you are if your hand's doing something like that and it doesn't regularly do that. Why are you treating your brain the same way? You don't need to go to the hospital for your brain, though. It's your brain. Start questioning yourself. Overthinking and doubt is not a problem. I'm telling you, it's really not. I still experience nerves still, but I use them in my favor. And I've trained myself to have these biases through extreme, not even extreme meditation, but just thinking about it all the time and understanding the mechanism of my brain. It's really that simple. It's not necessarily easy because it goes against pretty much everything you've probably learned thus far about the brain, life, and trading. But it's the truth. I'm telling you, that's what worked for me. I have a pre-existing bias that I'm consistently profitable. And so I overthink on my success. Some of your overthinking, for instance, here's a quick example. Here's a quick exercise that you can do just so I can leave you with something here. If you really analyze your overthinking, some of your overthinking follows a pattern where it's like, what if this happens and what if that happens? And it's usually negative. So it's like, what if I blow this account again? What if I experience pain again? What if I, lose my funding again after getting funded? What if I never make it to a payout? What if I never have another green month? What if I'm break even forever? What if I'm unprofitable forever? What if everyone was right? Right? What ifs? What ifs aren't a problem. And you can flip this and use it for your superpower now, where you're like, make it positive. What if I'm everything I believe I can be? What if trading actually works? And what if trading works for me? What if I can actually change my reality by changing my mind? What if I can consistently make money from trading? What if I'm consistently profitable? What if everything I need to become consistently profitable is already in me? What if I have the tools to learn how to be consistently profitable? What if doubt is good? What if I'm successful? What if I'm smart? What if I'm intelligent? What if I'm handsome? What if I'm beautiful? What if just use the successful what ifs. Flip it. It takes a little bit of courage, but flip it. And you may say, oh, this is silly, but guess what? That all this is silly is actually you doubting. What if this isn't silly? What if this is a superpower? What if I can have my brain work for me? And so with that, to bring it all around, guys, overthinking and doubt, they are not problems. I'm telling you over and over again, I promise, I got no reason to lie. They are not problems and they are not roadblocks to your success. These are normal mechanisms of the brain. What makes them a problem is that you believe they are. Once you stop believing they are, then that gives you the power to become the person that actually uses them to your advantage by overthinking on your success and doubting your failure. The way you do that is by creating a pre-existing cognitive bias that you are successful, that you are a winner, that you can win trades consistently, that you can win consistently, that you can pass evals, that you can get certificates, whatever you want, but not even that you can get, that you are successful, that you have certificates, that you are getting paid out consistently, that you are passing evals like it's nothing, that you are successful in trading from that careless-free state of mind. Because when you truly, truly believe that you are successful, you have nothing left to prove. And when you have nothing left to prove, the chip on your shoulder is gone. And when the chip on your shoulder is gone, the chip on the trade is gone. And when the chip on the trade is gone, you can see it for what it is. And when you can see it for what it is, consistency is what follows. Profitable consistency. And then you're consistently profitable. Not just from your mind, but from your actions. But it starts from your mind, then your actions, and then your results will reflect it. But there's a time lag. So stay strong through the lag. Stay strong through the lag. Stop waiting for physical reality to tell you who you are, and just tell yourself who you are and believe that. And so that's the video. This was Origin, aka John. Thanks for watching. Peace.